What's up, sports bettors? It's Matt Modi here with OddsJam. Player props are starting to get posted for NFL Sunday. So what I'm going to be doing in this video is locking in some sharp NFL player props for week 3 of the NFL season. Pretty cool. Caesars Sportsbook seems to have some pretty awesome lines for these player props. Here is one that I am about to lock in that I think is really good. Breece Hall over 12.5 receiving yards plus 116 on Caesars. Let me go ahead and lock this bad boy in. All of these plays are going to be for half a unit. So let's talk about it. Obviously, I found the bet using OddsJam, using the positive expected value page. I think this one is a really good bet. Obviously, it is mathematically profitable. And a lot of times, that's the first question people have for me is, what does that mean? What does mathematically profitable mean? It means that this bet has some sort of edge over the sportsbook that I am placing the bet with. In this case is Caesars Sportsbook at plus 116. So what OddsJam does is it takes thousands and thousands of data points, thousands and thousands odds, bets, sportsbooks, which odds were right, the market, everything. Identifies which sportsbooks do the best job at pricing what markets. This is done using thousands of back-tested results, thousands and thousands of just back-testing. Taking all this data, determining what are the sharpest sportsbooks in what specific markets. And then what OddsJam does is take into account all of those sharp sportsbooks and take a weighted average based on just how good that sportsbook is, remove the VIG, and then find out what the no VIG, or I guess in this case, spit out what those no VIG odds are right here on the positive EV page. So in this case, for the Breece Hall prop, it's plus 105 on the no VIG odds. We locked it in at plus 116 on Caesars. So the gap between these two numbers, that is where you get your positive expected value from. So the gap between plus 105 and plus 116 is your positive expected value. In this case, equates to a profit margin of about 5.18%, which basically means I bet $50 on this one. My actual profit margin, I should say, for this is $2.50, my real profit. Now, of course, this bet wins and I will make my, let's call it, what's this, $68, or this bet, or 58, whatever, or this bet loses and I lose all of my $50. But over time, you will realize that your expected profit that you see here in this positive EV percent, when you calculate your expected profit, again, for me, it's about $2.50, $2.59 to be exact. You'll start to see that your expected profit starts to equal your realized profit over the course of time. So for these player props, you see there are 4 here on the screen that I'm going to lock in. I'm hiding this one because the market width is a little bit too high at 43, but there are 4 here on the screen. 5%, 2%, 2%, 0.81%. You add all these up together, this 5.18% turns into 10%. And these are just 4 bets that will be realized on Sunday. So you start to understand the power of positive EV betting and just how much money you can actually make positive EV betting when you think about it from a mathematical perspective like this. So all in all, I like this Breece Hall one a lot. He's the rookie running back for the Jets. He's getting more and more work as he gets more acclimated in the NFL. And he also looks incredible. The Jets have been throwing the ball a zillion times. Now, a lot of that's going to some people like Garrett Wilson. Some of it is going to the running backs as well. So I actually like Breece Hall on this one to go over 12.5 receiving yards. Let me just add this one to my bet tracker. I put $50 on it. So that is player prop bet number 1. Now, there's a couple other things, and it looks like actually a couple more showed up since I refreshed. There's also a couple things that I like to look for when I am placing player props. Number 1, of course, is this number I mentioned here. Just make sure it's below 40. Number 2, and this one is way more important, I like to look into the markets and see where every sportsbook is pricing this play at. So if you click into a play, it pulls up odds for the 12.5. If you view it in an event page, it pulls up what every sportsbook is pricing this total at in general. Now we can see the Breece Hall receiving prop. In this case, every book has it at 12.5. But let's look at how they price it. Now you can take out Underdog and PrizePicks because they have the same implied odds for every single one. But BetMGM has it at minus 110. DraftKings, minus 110. This OddsJam line you see here is pulled from Pinnacle Sportsbook. Pinnacle Sportsbook is the sharpest sportsbook in the world. Prices this at -111, and we got it at +116 on Caesars. That is a clear outlier. That is a profitable bet. So that is bet number one. Also, why I like it in terms of an outlier perspective. Bet number two is very much related to this one, and it is taking the under receiving yards of Michael Carter. Michael Carter is a second-year running back for the Jets who is starting to lose some playing time to Breece Hall. Now, Michael Carter is a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's good in pass protection. He's a little bit better in terms of seeing the holes. He's just not as explosive as Breece Hall. And Breece Hall was drafted in the second round. They love Breece Hall. And if you look at the player receiving yards, so this is what I had up for Breece Hall, every other book, and I guess that Underdog and Prize Picks think that his total should actually be priced a yard lower than this at 18.5. And same logic here. Look at where every book prices this. BetMGM, -115. DraftKings, -110. Pinnacle, -112. This +110, just an insane outlier when you compare it to every other book. So I'm going to lock this one in as well. $50, Michael Carter under his receiving yardage total. So this is my second player prop that I have locked in so far. Now let me just add this to my bet tracker. Another cool thing, when you add something to your bet tracker, it automatically refreshes the positive EV page. So as you saw in the first refresh, another play popped up. In this case, we're looking at Elijah Moore over 50.5 receiving yards. It's the same game, the Jets versus the Bengals. They found some sort of value in this game, but it's the same logic here, right? No big line, +101, profit margin, 2%. So this is my third bet. If you add up my profit margin for all of these, you're at about $10. So I've just made about $10 placing these three bets. And again, keep in mind, it's only three. I'm assuming you're placing a lot more over the course of an NFL Sunday. But this one I get, like Elijah Moore he's been disappointing through the first two games of the season. The Jets have been passing it a ton. It just hasn't been going to him. But Elijah Moore has been playing the most snaps for the Jets, even more than Garrett Wilson, even more than Corey Davis. The ball just hasn't gone his way. I think that he's a really good player. The Jets are going to continue to pass the ball, and I think his time will come. So I like locking this one in for half a unit as well. This one has been locked in. And same logic here, right? +106 on Caesars. BetMGM, -115. DraftKings, BetMGM -110. DraftKings, -115. Pinnacle, -113. So same logic here, outlier when you compare it to every other book. So I like this one a lot. I think it's a really good play. Something about these Jets-Bengals receiving props, specifically on the Jets, we found some value there, which is good. So it looks like more plays have shown up. The one that I wanted to highlight is this next one. This next play above 2% EV will be my last play, my fourth play of this video. Marquez Valdes-Scantling over 3.5 receptions. So let me go ahead and lock this in on Caesars again. The concern with the Chiefs receivers is you never know whose day it's going to be, right? Pat Mahomes even came out and said this, that it's probably going to be different every game, which sucks from a fantasy perspective. But the thing I like about MVS, he's kind of a little bit taken, not nearly as good, obviously. He's the Tyreek Hill role on the offense. He's basically their deep threat. So they're giving him more targets on slants, more targets on screens, more targets on shorter passes, while also having him go deep as well. So 3.5 receptions is a decent amount for a player like MVS, but I really like this one. It's positive EV. Same logic here. I don't need to keep beating this drum, but you guys understand. BetMGM, -110. OddsJam, -103. Pinnacle, again, from the OddsJam line, -103. All pricing it significantly more favorably, thinking it's more likely to occur than the +112 on Caesars. So this will be my fourth and final player prop locked in on Caesars. And that's it. So that's all four for you guys. Let me just add this one to my bet tracker as well. And that is going to be it. So I appreciate you guys watching. If you are tailing these bets, let me know. I love hearing all the feedback. But regardless, again, thanks for watching. Enjoy Week 3 of the NFL season, and have a good one.